Welcome everyone once again. Today is the seventh class of our Sharada Lipi. Before we begin, I will just recite the mantra from Panchastavi. It's the seventh shlok from the first chapter. Vame pustakdarinīm vayadām sakshasrajam dakshine bhaktebhyo vardhan peshalkaram karpur kundojwalam ujram bhujpatrikant-nayana snigdha-prabhalokinim ye twamam vanashilayanti manasa tesham kve tvam kuta. So now let us start with our corrections. I will just go through some of the corrections, commonly made mistakes, and then we will begin with our class. Nidhi ji will take you through the class today. So this is the first assignment, Gargi ji's assignment. Yes, here were the correction has already been made here. So what you need to do is, instead of making this round, what you have done is you have made it round like this, how we do in Devanagari. Instead of making a round here like this, there is a small, you see this portion is little curved here. There is no sharp triangle, but it's just a slant is made on both the sides, up and down. There is a slant here. It's not a complete round how you have drawn it. So that is the mistake here. Rest it's good. La, again in Devanagari we write this la full. We touch this, it is on the same line with this vertical stroke here. But when we do it in Sharada, these two loops, they're a little shorter. You end this loop here and don't extend the line beyond. So this is the correction in la. Ya is good, ra is good. Then sh is again good. This sh is also correct. Sa, yes, the correction in sa here is this triangular part here. This needs to be very prominent. What you have done is you have made it round like this. This you will confuse it with the ma or any other ma later. When you start writing Sharda and start reading manuscript, you might confuse it with ma, because ma has a round here at the left hand side corner. In sa, it's a very sharp triangle like this. The sharp corner, as this has been corrected here. Her is good. Sh again good. Tra is good. Gear, I will draw again this gear here for you. This part is okay. What you have drawn here is okay. So down, this you're overlapping this both the loops of na to this line here. No, only one. This intersects the line, and the other one is here to the left side. Both of these loops should not intersect with this stroke here. So this is the correction here. Let's move on to the next assignment. Okay, here again, year correct, correct, la, yes, there is a correction in la. Again, when you draw this la, this is not slant. What you have done is you have made a slant thing here. This needs to be in the straight line, how this has been made here, like this, a straight line, but the loops have to be shorter, like this. It doesn't go slant. There is no angle here. It doesn't go like this. So this was the correction in la. Wa is good. Sh is good. Sh is also good. So okay. I don't see any other correction here. Yes, you are missing the shiro rekha in this sh. So that you need to keep in mind. There is a shiro rekha on sh. Here, sorry. Tra is correct. Here again, I will draw this gear for you again. This is also straight. The upper portion is correct. There is no correction in upper portion, but lower portion needs to be little, this needs to be little prominent here. This one doesn't seem correct. It is to be of the same size. The j up and the n down have to be of the same size. Rest is good. Yes. We can move to other assignment now. Okay. Here, here again, right? This is also correct. I don't see any much correction here, except this. Again, this is not a round. These are two slanting lines on both the sides, top and bottom. Both are slant. It's this one. The second one is almost yes, very much closer to the correct shape. Yes. Yeah, this one is little roundish here. So rest I don't see anything. Rest all is correct. Sir, this sure again correct. Gear again. This is the right shape. Yes, correct. Yeah, so good. Nothing else here. We'll move to the next assignment. Okay, here also there is no correction. So most of the assignments that we received this week doesn't have much corrections. All the letters have been written well. So this assignment also there is no correction here. All is, yeah, all have been drawn nicely and correctly. Okay, so moving on to next. Yeah, here few corrections. In ver again, the ver has been made round again, as I mentioned earlier. Make it like this. The slant how you have in ver, same slant is there on both the corners, but just make sure that you don't draw it like this. Don't make a triangle instead of a soft curve. Don't make a triangle. This would be wrong. So this is the right shape. Sure is correct. This is also right. Rest is all right. Just gear again. What you have drawn is on the Shirorekha on the top, these two strokes you have made them slant, as you see here. This has been corrected already. So these are two straight lines, very small strokes, but straight. I think it came slant here. I will draw it again. Yeah, so these are the strokes, straight lines. Don't make them slant. And this gear again, this na at the bottom when you draw it, make sure it comes in the straight line. It's not angled. Don't keep it slant. What you have is all the nas I see below are at an angle. They're all slant. Yeah? So that one, see here, it has been corrected here. It needs to be straight. This slant should not be there. Rest is all good. Okay. This again, nothing here. Everything has been written correctly, except here. Few corrections are there in here. Rest all other letters have been written correctly in most of the assignments. Here again, this gear is not correct. This is, when you draw this straight line and two very small strokes here. So here again, there's a slant. I see a slant here, and this is also not straight. What you have drawn is you have again made it, slant in the beginning. Here, this has to be a straight line, and then you draw the rest of the letter, and no slant anywhere. Not at the bottom, not at the beginning. Both are straight. And rest is good. All other letters are good. Just this ver here, you have made it very sharp. Something like this. Try to keep it softer. Somewhat like this. Yes, this is the first one that what you have drawn is correct. Third one is also good. This one is little sharp in the middle. So avoid that. Rest is good. So let's take the next assignment. Okay, here there are a few corrections here. Cha, see when you draw this cha, there's a round. Then you take it little down and take it up again. What you have drawn here is something like this. This is incorrect. This when you draw this loop here, you get it all the way down and then take it up. And this ta, what you have done is this bottom stroke you have kept very small, and this you have drawn like this, something like this. Again, this loop is not such a big loop here. It's a very small triangle. It's a very small triangle at the end, like this. What you have drawn is very big loop, and this bottom, this curve you have made very short. So try to complete this curve till here and then draw a loop, this triangular thing at the corner, and extend the Shirorekha a little bit after this loop. And here what you have drawn is how we write year in Devanagari. This is Devanagari year. And the difference in Sharada and Devanagari year is this angle here at the beginning as shown. This should be like straight line, and then you make this. This is how we differentiate between Sharada and Devanagari year. Here, this what you have drawn is a Devanagari year. So please correct that. La is good, but just extend this vertical stroke here. You know what you have done is both the strokes and the loops are in the same line here. You need to extend this stroke so that these loops are a little shorter than the vertical stroke here. Yes, that's the only thing. Rest it's good. Yes, all other letters are good. We'll take a few more assignments. Here, it's a very good assignment. No correction here and very neatly written. This is Monica G's assignment. Yeah. Here, very nice. Here, I will just highlight here this la. Just make sure that you have this vertical stroke little longer. This one is correct. This one is correct. This is correct. Here, just extend this. Yes. This vertical stroke has to be little bigger, little extended. Rest is good. Okay, this again I will make it here. This should be like this, and don't make it a complete round. Just try to keep these lines little slant here. Rest all is good. Gear is very neatly drawn, and this is how you should practice doing gear. I know in the beginning gear is a little tedious to draw, but yeah, this is how the gear should be. Correct. Okay, one last assignment. Yes, very nicely written using the calligraphy pen, very nicely drawn. Here, la is good. Yes, only thing I will again highlight this point, that extend this vertical stroke. Yeah, see this is again in the same line. All the lures that you have drawn they don't have a longer vertical stroke. Make sure that this is little bigger. Va is good. Sure. This is good. This one thing, when you draw the sure, this triangle is very important. Here you see there is no triangle here. When what you have drawn here, the triangle is missing. It is getting little rounder here in the left hand side corner. This is correct. This sure, it has a good triangle here. Rest, you see these, they are getting little rounded on the left side. So when you draw this, try to make the triangle proper, and then you move your pen.
Veronica, make sure that can I just make one small suggestion? Sorry to talk in between.
Yes.
This calligraphy pen, the usage of calligraphy pen, I would just suggest to keep the angle at 135, as in just to rotate the angle of the pen. Then you'll writing the same way, the corner will come sharp. This is absolutely like a mirror image of would be a desired shape, because the pen here, what I look, what it's showing, the pen is at 45-degree angle, whereas ideally it should be at 135-degree to get the correct shape in Sharda letters. So just a point for calligraphy pen
Yes,
users.
yeah, I think these are the normal calligraphy pens, which
Hmm.
do not have that desired angle at the tip,
Yeah,
at
it's
the
those
nib.
art line pens, correct.
Yeah, Heartline pen. So you don't get the desired shape and those strokes that we have in Sharda Lipi. But so for Sharda Lipi, you have very specific pens. There are pens available which are properly. They have this angle at the nib. You can search them online, and they are available in the market. But yes, if you have a normal pen, so just make sure that you draw these shapes correctly. This thing is, yes, missing here. So yes, you will, with the normal pens, you'll have to be little careful because they don't have that angle that we require in Sharda. Correct. So rest, yes, I don't see anything else. Again, sure, the Shirorekha is missing here, on all the shirts. Here again, these strokes that you have drawn here, these ones, you have drawn them like this, going inwards. They're straight lines. Just make a note of it. And sir, again here the same thing that I just highlighted in sure. Sir has the same thing. The corner has not come proper. This corner is not triangle. You see this corner is getting merged everywhere. So yes, this is because of the normal calligraphy pens. They don't provide those angles that we require, but yes, you can be little careful, holding when you hold the pen and draw it at certain, as Nidhi ji mentioned, that at a certain angle when you hold the pen you will get this desired shape. So okay, this was it. This was the last assignment. Few mistakes that we just highlighted, that most of the assignments, most of the students had made. And before handing it over to Nidhi ji, I will again request you all to be live on Face. We are going live on Facebook at 7 o'clock. We have been celebrating this Gauri Tritya since the 8th of Feb, and we'll conclude it on 14th, that is tomorrow, of February. And we have been doing quiz contests and coloring competitions and everything. You all must be aware, whosoever is following us on Facebook, Core Sharda Team Facebook page. So be there at 7 o'clock. The talk sessions are going on. Yesterday this was the first talk session yesterday, today and tomorrow. And yes, we are part of it. Listen to the scholars talking, the students sharing their experience of learning Sharda Lipi. So I'm sure there's a lot to learn there, lot to understand about this Lipi. Okay, so that's it. I'll hand it over to Nidhi ji now. She will go ahead with the class.
Thank you, Veronica ji.
I'll just make you the presenter.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll just broadcast my screen, just 1 minute. Are you able to see my screen? Oh, just logged out of the screen code. Just 1 minute. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
No, it's not come to the. I think yeah. Okay. Is the screen clear now?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
today we have class 7 for of this batch. We have completed our vowels, consonants, and conjuncts. Uh, so conjuncts, I think pretty much whatever clarification was required has been provided by Pranika ji. But in case you have any doubts, you can just put it in the questions, and we will take the revision if required. If anyone has any doubts on any of the letters till now, you can just put it in the question so that when we wrap up today's session, we will take the revision. But now today we will start the matras. So after we've learned the consonants and the conjuncts, three main conjuncts, I would say, we would start with the matras, like you have in Devanagari. So when vowels get, when you're writing vowels along with your consonants, they change their form into matras. So that is what we will do today. So I'll pick up the first matra that you use is if you see in any Hindi in Devanagari writing. So if you have say um, a letter ma in Devanagari, so there is you use halant. So it comes like this as a small a small slanting line below the letter. Sorry, just However, in Sharda, when you write, so I'll just write a Sharda letter. So this is your Sharda letter. No. So in Sharda, when you write Halant, instead of this vertical line which is shown here, what we do is we take the Shirorekha a little ahead and we make the Halant like this, a straight line, and then take it a little slanting. So this is your Halant in Sharda. I'll just draw it with a pen also. So if you're writing no, just extend a Shirorekha a little ahead and draw a straight line. Again, I would just like to mention the straight line starts a little above the Shirorekha. So it's starting here, come down and take it towards your right hand side. So this is your halant, how you write. And also to mention that halant is ideally used at the end of a sentence, end of the word. So just make sure when you read your manuscripts later, bear that in mind that it usually would come only at the end of the word, not in the middle of the word. So this is halant. I would just write it with some other letter also. So if we are writing, say, sir, now here we don't have any Shirorekha, although there is a small Shirorekha at the, you can just draw a small, extend this point a little bit. So start a vertical line above the Shirorekha, take it down and just move it to on your right hand side as a slanting line. So this is your sir. Just take it, this extend this a little bit, draw a vertical line and then take it towards your right hand side. Or again we have, I'll take another letter, say the. So here I would, so once the point the letter concludes, so if say this is the point where the letter is concluding, take the Shirorekha a little bit ahead. So you take the Shirorekha a little ahead. Again, the same thing. Start a vertical line above the Shirorekha, take it down and move your pen a little on the right hand side. Are you able to see my screen? Oh, I've again logged out.
Yeah, it's yeah. Okay,
Just
so
1 minute.
till you
Can
connect,
you?
I will just
Yeah, just take it
yeah, I will.
from here. I'll connect in the meantime.
Yeah, I just want to highlight this what Nidhi ji was just talking about this halant. So people, some students who are not aware of Devanagari or don't know much about Devanagari, this halant basically means that all the consonants they are not complete without the vowels. So, for example, when we talk about k or kh, all these consonants are dependent on the vowel sounds to make a complete, letter. But all the vowels, for example, from to aha, they are independent of, they are independent. They don't need any other support of the consonant or any other vowel to make them complete. So, for example, is complete in itself. No, there is no other sound with a is complete in itself, e is complete in itself. But when it comes to consonants, k is always dependent on the vowel to make a complete sound of k plus kh plus that is kh. And when we talk about halant, the halant basically means when you remove that sound from k and you just get the k, the sound of k. So few words where we have, when we say half k, that half k means that the sound has been removed from it, like k becomes k. So that is what this halant basically means. When we do half letters and conjunct words, then there is half k, half the, half ch. So that sound, when we omit from the consonant, you get that word sound of ch. So that is what halant is basically. Yes. Nidhi ji, you can continue just if you're.
Veronica ji, I think you'll have to take it for some time. There seems to be a little problem on my setup. Can you just take a few more, few matras right now? I'll connect in another 10
Okay.
minutes.
Sure, I will do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Apologies.
Yes, so Nidhi ji has already completed till the halant. Yes, so halant is done. Let us move to the another matra, which is a matra. A. So in Devanagari, we usually write this matra like this, and this is the Sharada letter, Sharada vowel A. And when we use it in the middle of the word as a matra, this becomes like this. So the difference here, what you see here, see the difference. This A is completely drawn, it's a bigger sized stroke. This is how we draw it. It's of the same size of the other letters, but in case of A in Sharda, it's very small as compared to the other letters. When I draw it with some letter, for example, Na, this is Na, Na in Sharda. When I write the with the, if I use it, this is Da in Sharda. And when I use it with per, now you have to, while drawing the matras, again you have to be very careful of what letter does Shirolekha, what letter has a Shirolekha and what letter doesn't. So like for example, per doesn't have a Shirolekha. What you do is draw a very small, this what horizontal stroke to support this matra a, like this. You can extend it a little bit. Usually what when we draw per independent of any matra, we just draw it like this. Or sometimes we draw a very small stroke here. But when you have a matra along with it, you can extend this Shirorekha from the right hand side, but make sure that you don't cover this. You don't get it from the left hand side. And this is pa. We can draw it with the also like this. So there we are just picking and choosing few letters here to show you the usage of matras, because there are certain letters that follow a special rule where the a matra is not written how we are writing it now. This a matra is a common matra for some of the letters, but some have a very special special rule that they follow when we write matras with them. So whatever letters we are showing you in the class, you can try the matras with only those alphabets and not any other. So na, the, pa, pa, you can try with her as well. Whatever we are showing in the class, please use the matras only with those characters. So this is matra a. Now the next one is I, matra I. This I. In Devanagari, you have this matra like this. This is I. And the matra is similar to what we have in Devanagari, I matra. A and E matra, they don't change, they are written as it is. Just this at the top, sometimes you in Devanagari you have this rounded thing, but in Sharda usually when we write it, we have this certain angle to it. Now if I draw it with some letter, for example Ni, I will draw Ni. Make sure that you have this tomb-like figure on the top. That's only difference. Even though when you draw it like this, it is not incorrect, I would say. But yes, when you draw, since it's a calligraphy script, this this looks very beautiful. Aesthetically, it looks very nice, and usually it is drawn like this with a small angle to it on the top and not rounded. This is with na. If I draw it with the, this is the, now with per. Now per doesn't have a Shirorekha, so do not make the Shirorekha like this. Don't try to cover the entire letter and then you will draw this Shirorekha here, something like this. So avoid doing this. When you draw it with the letters that don't have a Shirorekha, what we usually do is we draw this per, and this matra comes to the left side like this, and only to support the matra you draw a line on this side. This line, the shirorekha, will not extend. Okay, so just keep it here so that the matra is accommodated here and it is not going beyond this letter. And you can take the example of sa also, because sa also doesn't have a shirorekha. So when you draw it with sa, this matra again will come here, and a small shirorekha you can extend to this side. Also you have a little stroke here, but this middle part should not get covered like this. That's the only thing that needs to be checked while you write the matras with these particular kinds which don't have a shirorekha. And when you draw it with, for example, her, this is with her. You can try it with the na, the, pa, sa. Also, I've shown her. Tha. Let's take tha again. Tha has a shirorekha. And when you draw this matra of E, just make sure that you don't make it too big like this. It's not incorrect, I would say, but it doesn't. It will not look good, because otherwise then this matra will take a very, it will look too huge like this if you draw it. Just try to keep it here and not extend it beyond. So this shape you need to follow this one. Okay. Let's move on to the next mantra. Next one is E. E matra in Devanagari is this. This is E in Sharada. And the matra again, as I mentioned earlier, these two matras do not vary much. They are almost the same shape what we have in Devanagari. So this is E. Now when we use it with any letter, for example, we have Na. This is Ni. The, when we use it with the. D. Again, when what I told in case of E, again same thing applies here also. Do not try to cover this entire thing and make this matra like this. Otherwise it looks too big. When you use a calligraphy pen, this matra, this top loop above the shirorekha doesn't look very good. So try to keep it small, something like this. You can use it with pa. Draw a small stroke here and like this. With her, if I draw it, like this. With sir, like this. Her also we can try. This is the mantra E. So let's go on to our next mantra. U. U in Devanagari, this is how we write it. In Sharada, this U mantra takes the shape. This is the shape. I will draw it again. There is this stroke, a vertical stroke, then like this, then you have a triangle here. This is the shape of Matra. And when we write it, I will show it with a normal pencil tool also. Here, this. This is the Matra. This stroke needs to be little bigger, and then you have a triangle at the bottom. When I draw it with some letter, let's take an example of N. So since this already has a vertical stroke, so you know you don't need to make it too big. This is how it will look. This now, because it already has a stroke, so that that extra stroke that we give to the matra is not required much. This is if now if I do it with some other letter that doesn't have this vertical stroke, for example this one, like the what you do is extend it a little bit and then draw this. Again this, here also you don't need to extend this line much, it already has a stroke. Now for example when we have which doesn't have a vertical stroke to support the matra, you extend this line a little bit. With her, you have to be, all the matras with her, you have to note that they attach here. They do not attach to the end of the letter here. This one is wrong. They always attach here, except what we have A, E, and E, which attach on with the Shirorekha. That doesn't have a problem, but some matras that go down under any letter, those ones come they attach with the her here and not here.
Veronica ji?
Yes, are you back?
No, I don't think my screen is working today. I just wanted to a few questions actually have come up, so I was just looking at them.
Okay.
That if you could just revise the shape of the triangle, as in what angle do we have to take the triangle? So just draw only the triangle for the O Matra right now. That is it a 90-degree angle or a slant? So just give the triangle shape once again.
Okay. So this matra is, you extend this line a little bit and draw a straight line. It's a right angled triangle here, and something like this is also not incorrect, but we usually draw it like a triangle, like a right angle triangle. You will, at some places you will see it like this. So both are correct, but we follow this shape here, this triangle, and this is also correct, but make sure that you have a right angle triangle at the bottom. And how big it needs to be, that I have shown you. Like for example, with her, when you draw it, it has to be like, something like this is not that we do. Like for example, we have her here, and then we draw the matra this big. So which is very obvious that the shape has to be small, since it's a matra, with her little smaller as compared to the letter itself. With the, you saw a very small triangle here, and with na and pa, since they have a stroke, it usually follows. It's very easy to draw these with these kind of letters. Okay, so should we move to the next one, or there are any more questions?
No, there are no questions. Just the shape of U was, yeah. And just to mention regarding the special rules, that some letters follow different rules. So we are not touching upon those letters, like students have been asking for ja or ru. So we would give you the letters that you have to practice for all the matra shapes that we are doing right now. So if you can stay with those letters for today's or this week's assignments. All the other letters which we will not share with you for assignments today will be covered in the coming days. So you can park those questions regarding letters or different letters in the in maybe a week or two. We will start the special rules, so that will be covered later. So because a lot of questions have come for letters like ja or ru, so you can just park those questions. We will give you the letters that you have to practice the matras with today.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So at the end we will give you those words. So this we completed till U. Let us move on to the next matra. Okay, the next one is Re. This is matra Re, how it is drawn in Devanagari. In Sharada, we have this mantra. We draw it like this. It is a very small difference here. In Devanagari, it's just like looks like a C, whereas in Devanagari we draw it like half U. It's a lower portion of this ray that we draw as a matra. You see this portion. This is the portion of ray that we use when it is used as a matra. Now, if we use it with na, for example, here, this is nri, and now let us see a letter which doesn't have a vertical stroke to support the matra. In case of the, we use it towards the end, like this. This is dr, dri. And for example, now we have her. We will use it here. It's a very small U kind of a figure. Do not extend this line. Do not make this line too big like this. Use it. You need to keep it just like as a matra, very small one at the end of the letter. And again, when I show it with her, you have to be careful that where you attach this matra, because in case of her, it's a little confusing. Some people, they draw this matra, they make a mistake of drawing this matra here. This matra will attach here like this. This is three. So these four are enough, I think. With per, okay, I'll show with the per also. Simple with per. Or sir, again, we can try it with sir also. This is with Sri. Sri. So these 6 letters you can try this matra with. In fact, all the matras you can try with these letters. Now we have another letter, another matra, which is Re. In Devanagari, we usually write it like this, double loops. And in case of Sharada, it is similar to what we did in Devanagari. Sorry, in case of Devanagari, I just drew it like what we have in Sharada. Devanagari, we have this vertical thing, like how we draw similar way. We have this, it's a vertical matra, but in case of Devanagari, we have it sleeping. It's like this. For example, when I draw Nri, it will be like a horizontal matra. It is not what we have in Devanagari. It's a straight line. This matra comes in the straight line. Then when we have the, this is how you draw it with the. With per, again, very similarly how you drew with no. It's not very slant. I'll draw it again. It should come in a straight line like this. So here I think, yeah, it came a little slant. Make sure it comes in a straight line. And let's do it with here, like this. And with her, like this. Let's do it with her also. This is a okay. So this Matra shape, I will draw the shape of Matra again. This is like this, the horizontal curves like this. The first curve is has a little bigger stroke since it has to attach to the letter. So this left hand side stroke is little longer, and this is little shorter towards the end, like this. This is the shape of the Matra tree. We'll move on to the next one. This in Devanagari we have this Matra like this. Now Sharada. It's very much similar. The only difference here is this curve is much bigger here, and in case of Sharda, this is flat. This goes very flat, like how we draw no, somewhat similar to that. It doesn't have a curve here, and it doesn't have this curve. It's not there. It all comes in a straight line like this. This is the shape. I will draw it again, just the Matra, so that the shape is clear. Comes all in a straight line. This is the Matra. And with a letter, when you use it, here you draw this little, take your pen towards the left side a little bit. And draw it like this. Make sure that it comes in a straight line. With the, when I draw it. Like this. Like for example, when I draw it with her, since it doesn't have any vertical line and there is nothing to support it, it's completely round towards the end, this letter. So when you draw this, if you have, you can draw a little stroke here, very little. It's very indicative. It's not too big. It's not like this. Just so that you have enough space to fit this Matra. For example, like this. So you have very small. It's not even visible. It's just holding the Matra within. With Sir, it is simple because it doesn't have, it has a vertical stroke. So let us see it with Sir. With Her. Again, you can draw a very small supporting line here. This is with Her. With Per again, it's very simple because since it has a Shirorekha, sorry, it has a vertical stroke. So it's easier to draw with these letters. Now, Ri, the next Matra Ri, it is doesn't differ much. It is very much similar. I'll show it here itself. This is the letter. This is in Devanagari I'm drawing. Okay, when you draw this Matra, it's very much similar. Just that there is a additional curve to it. This additional curve, like what we have here, same thing, but only the thing is it is in a straight line. In contrary to what we have in Devanagari, it comes again, in a vertical form. Here it is all horizontal, in a straight line. I'll draw it with a letter so that it's more clear. Okay. No, first let's take no. Like this. It's all in a straight line. There is no angle, there is no slant, like this. With the has this is there, so you might not need this because it has a little support here, like this. With Her, you can draw a very small stroke. But make sure that the stroke is very, very small. It should not be too big. I'm drawing it with Her now. In the last class, how we mentioned that there should be wide. This gap should be wide enough. So this is the reason why we tell you to keep a bigger gap in between this point and this point. That's the reason, because all the matras in Her, they attach here, and if you don't have enough space, if it's too narrow, for example something like this, it will become difficult for you to draw matras. So that is why make sure that you have this wide enough. It should come within the Shirorekha, don't extend behind the Shirorekha. Now you can draw a small stroke. And like this. With With pa, it's very simple. I mean, same is the case with sir. Like this. So, okay. Any questions so far, Nidhi?
Uh, just a few questions. Actually, the words which used r or re. So I have already mentioned that it's a very rarely used vowel, I would say. Even in case of manuscripts, we hardly come across words which use this vowel. However, in the reference material that we send during this week, we'll try and give you some words which where this has been used. For example, I would say in Sanskrit there is lakar. So rit lakar is one word where this is used. So this was one question. And I think, Veronica ji, we should stop the matras here, and you can just take the revision of the shape of matras with maybe one or two letters, all the matras, before we conclude, because we have 15 minutes for today. I think we should stop here so that we can just take a revision of matras, just show the shape of matras maybe with one or two letters.
Yes, that's better because we have already covered till re, so let's
Yeah,
revise all of them
yes.
and rest of the
Yeah,
matras we'll
we
take it next week.
Yes, and as we said that we will give you letters with which to use these matras, because there are a lot of variations or special rules that we will cover in the coming days. So that'll clear all the doubts. Right now, we will give you letters with which you need to practice these vowels. You can just go ahead with the revision of the
Okay,
matras.
okay, thank you. So let's start from the halant, the first matra that we learned. Now I will only draw the Sharada matras. Like this. This is a very small stroke on the top of the Shirorekha, and down it is like this. So what I was mentioning earlier in the beginning of the class, this means that the letter N is usually with a sound of attached to it. This makes the complete N. N plus A. This is complete N. And when we remove this from here, when we remove this sound of this becomes N. And that N is represented as this, which we have in Devanagari like this. Sorry, I'll draw the Devanagari one. Yes. Okay. The next matra is A matra. It's a very small stroke like this. Like this. Okay, so do not make it too too long. This is incorrect. It should be very small, just covering the half of the letter. So the next one we had was E, Matra E. But now I am now only drawing it with N. Since now we are only focusing on the shape of the matras. So this is the shape of Ni Matra. Now the Matra E. This shape needs to be, this shape needs to be kept in mind. Don't make it like this. Give us a slight slant to it and make it like this. This is the shape of Matra E and E both. Here also I will show E. The slant is very important. This. After that we saw U Matra. So the shape of the Matra U is like this stroke is very, this stroke at the top you see that I have extended here, it's not too big, it's very small, like this. And also if you draw it somewhat not like 90 degrees and something like this, that is also not wrong, but since that we follow a Unicode, I would suggest that you follow this shape, this right angle triangle. And with a letter, if I join it, it would look like, it should not be too big, very smaller as compared to the letter on the top. Okay, I think we forgot to touch upon the Matra U. Yes. Yes, we did not cover that. So this is Matra U. Matra U is, this is the shape of Matra U. You draw a small vertical stroke and then you take an angle like this. This is the shape. This, make sure that this is little longer as compared to this one here. When I say that, I don't mean that you draw it too big like that. Little bigger. This is Matra U. When I draw it with different letters, so since this already has a vertical stroke, you don't need to draw this because it's already there. This would be Nu. When I do it with the, you need a little stroke and then the. Make sure it's covering the letter, the Shirorekha. Now if I do it with her, for example, here at the end, draw a small stroke and who. With her, when I draw it, here, the end, draw a stroke and this. Just a minute, give me a minute, I'll be back. sorry. So this is where we attach it here, and a little longer stroke. This is Matra. We had forgotten this, I think, to cover earlier. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next one is Ri Matra. The shape of the Matra is like this. And when you draw it with any letter, this. The other one after this is Matra Ri, which is very much similar. Just the second stroke is little smaller towards the end. It would be written in the similar fashion. Okay, so the next one is Rit. This is the shape of the mantra. And the other one, Re. This is the shape. They're all in the straight line. That's the only thing to remember. They're not slant. I drew an extra stroke here. Right. Like this. Now, as far as the words are concerned, these two matras are very rarely found, as Nidhi has already mentioned that. They are not usually in the manuscripts also, they are very rarely found, but in classical Sanskrit they are usually not there, but in Vedic Sanskrit definitely they are there in some texts. So the words that have these matras are very rare. I don't remember as any word as of now, but we can find out. If there are some Sanskrit scholars in our class, so they would know the words better. They can suggest it in the questions itself. If there are any words, then we can take up those words. Okay, so now
Veronica ji, I think we should give the letters. We have just 5 minutes left for the session. So which letters do we need to practice? We could just mention it here and then probably give it as an email also for the assignment this week. That's one question. And another, are there any tattvas related to matras, or is it only for consonants or and vowels that tattvas are associated with?
Yeah, the tattvas are only to vowels and consonants. I mean, those are the 36 tattvas that we have already discussed. So with the matras, I mean, they are just the extension of what we just learned.
The vowels that we had already learned. So even matras would follow the same. So basically, they are just vowels and consonants together. So tattvas followed would be what they are with the standalone vowels and consonants.
Tattvas are only up to the consonants. So we will there is one more presentation that we will upload today, which is regarding the Kashmir Shaivism and how it is correlated with this matrika that we learned. So we will share that presentation also with you, and we will also upload the letters that you need to practice the matras with. I will just write it here in Sharada itself. Whatever we covered in the class, you can use the same letters now. The her her so and for now you can practice with these letters only, and because the rest of the letters we'll keep covering them as in when we go ahead, which have the special rules, they follow the special rules. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Veronica ji, and my apologies for the initial hiccup of taking the class today.
No,
I'll surely set it up.
That's all right.
And I would request everyone to follow our social media handles, because a lot of information or coming up projects or events that we keep doing. Or may also, there are a lot of scholars in our group who keep sharing their works through our social media handles. So I would request everyone to follow. We are there on Facebook as Core Sharda Team. If you could just write the spelling, Veronica ji.
Yes, I will do that.
So while I'm mentioning, you can just mention. And on Twitter, our Twitter handle is @Core Sharda. So there is a slight difference in the spelling, so that's what we wanted to mention here. On Twitter is SHARADA. That's how it's got registered. And we are also on Instagram. A lot of artwork from our students is uploaded on Instagram. On Instagram, we are as Core Sharda Team, no space in the words, CORESHARDATEAM. So you can follow us on. Yeah, no issues. So I would request everyone to follow our social media handles, especially since the festival is going on. And you can also follow us or give your suggestions, feedbacks, and reviews on our social media handles. We'd really welcome that.
So is this correct, Nidhi? For Twitter, yes. It is SHARADA. For Facebook, it is SHARDA.
And same is on Instagram as well. Only Twitter, there is a little difference.
The Twitter is same as Instagram?
Instagram is same as Facebook. The that you've written on Facebook, it's the same on Instagram also. Just there is no space.
No space there. Yeah, the spellings are same on Facebook and Instagram. Yes, so that's it for today. See you all next weekend. So be there today for the live talk session at 7 o'clock IST.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you everyone. Thank you, Nidhi ji.
Thank you, Veronica ji.